too. This is Thursday's guided reading lesson, and today we're going to be reading another story from this book of Indian traditional tales. And the story we're going to read today is called Hanuman's Adventures. Now, hopefully you remember Hanuman from a different book that we did earlier in the half term, Rama and Sita. So the story today in Hanuman's Adventures is part of that same story about Rama and Sita, but instead of being from the point of view of Rama and Sita and Lakshman, it's written from the point of view of Hanuman. So it's the same story, but told in a slightly different way, because that's the thing about these very old traditional tales. It means they've been told lots and lots of times in different ways. So, as normal, the story is attached to the homework, so if you want to go read it for yourself, that's absolutely fine. If not, I am about to read it to you here. So let me just find that for us. Here's Hanuman's Adventures. Long ago, when the demon Ravana tormented the world, the gods blessed the people with the birth of a supernatural monkey boy. His name was Hanuman. Hanuman was a happy little monkey who lived in the Valley of Trees in the Kishkinda forest. He had a round red face and a mischievous twinkle in his eye. One day, Hanuman looked up at the sun and thought, "I'm going to eat that ripe golden fruit." He flew into the sky and stretched out his arms to snatch it. You can see that at the top picture there. At once, the earth plunged into darkness. Hanuman's father, Pavana, the god of wind, came and pulled Hanuman onto his lap. "Son, you are blessed with powers for a purpose," he said. "You should use them only to help others in distress." Hanuman let go of the sun and never forgot his father's words. Years passed and he grew strong as a mountain and as tall as a tower. One morning, he awoke to see two mighty warriors armed with bows and arrows. Curious to find out more, he approached them and asked, "What brings you here?" Can you guess who the warriors are? Think back to that other story about Rama and Sita we read. The warriors looked up at the huge monkey in surprise. "I am Rama, and this is my brother Lakshmana. We are the princes of Ayodhya." Rama told Hanuman how he and his brother were forced to live in exile in the forest. So if you remember, they've been sent away from their home. "We are looking for my wife, Sita," said Rama. "We came to you because we heard about your special powers. Yesterday, I saw a lady in Ravana's golden chariot. She dropped this." Hanuman proudly showed a bangle that fitted one of his thick fingers like a ring. "That is Sita's," cried Rama. "Ravana must have abducted her." That's kidnapped her. "Ravana is my enemy too," said Hanuman. "He has killed many of my brothers and sisters in the forest. I will help you find Sita. Sit on my shoulders and I will give you a ride." Rama climbed onto one of Hanuman's shoulders. Lakshmana climbed onto the other. Then Hanuman took one flying leap and landed in the Valley of Trees. He whistled and hundreds of monkeys hidden among the trees came out. They stared at Rama and Lakshmana. Hanuman told the monkeys, "These men are our friends," and he recounted Rama's tale. "We shall search every corner of the forest until we find Sita," cried the monkeys. Hanuman took one flying leap and landed near the ocean. Searching along the seashore, he cried, "Sita, Sita, Sita." To the south, he saw the green island of Lanka floating like a jade jewel in the azure blue water. Suddenly, he spotted a diamond nose ring in the sand. Could it be Sita's? Hanuman took a flying leap back to Rama. "Look what I found." "It is Sita's," cried Rama. "You also found her bangle. Sita must have deliberately dropped her possessions to make a trail. Ravana must have taken Sita across the sea to the island of Lanka." Rama looked up at Hanuman in despair. "How can we get across the sea to Lanka?" he asked. "I can easily hop over the sea. You wait here with my army of monkeys," Hanuman said. Rama agreed. Slipping off his signet ring, he gave it to Hanuman. "Please give this ring to Sita. Tell her I will come and rescue her." Hanuman nodded, and with one mighty leap he flew into the sky. When he was halfway across to Lanka, that's the island, a huge sea monster with sharp fangs and hair that writhed like snakes jumped up. "Stop!" screeched Sarasa, the sea monster. "I am Ravana's guardian." And with these words, she swallowed Hanuman in one big gulp. Hanuman slipped down the monster's throat and landed in her cavernous stomach with a jolt. A vile stench hit him. Around him were the skeletons of the other sea creatures that the monster had gobbled. And we are going to pause there. That's the first part of the story. We're going to finish it off tomorrow. But for now, there are some questions for you to have a look at. So I'll get those up now and talk you through them. So you've got a bit of retrieval to do first. So if you go back to the beginning of the story, why did Hanuman try to catch the sun? For number 2, why does Hanuman agree to help Rama and Lakshmana? Have a think about what his father told him. Why does he agree to help the two men when he meets them in the forest? For number 3, why does Rama give a ring to Hanuman? So before he goes off to Lanka, Rama gives him a ring. Remember why? Here we've got a bit from the story. "Stop!" screeched Sarasa. Ooh, missed that thing there. Screeched Sarasa, the sea monster. "I am Ravana's guardian." With these words, she swallowed Hanuman in one big gulp. So from those 2 lines, I want you to find and copy a word that tells us that Sarasa has a loud voice. So think about how we know how loud Sarasa is. We've got to do some describing now. Write 3 adjectives to describe Hanuman's personality. So not what does he look like on the outside, but what's he like on the inside? What's his personality like? Number 6, some predicting to do. How do you think Hanuman will escape from Sarasa's stomach? Now, the sea monster wasn't in the story that we read earlier this half term. This is different in this story. So brand new to us, hopefully. So how do you think he's going to escape from being inside the belly of a sea monster? For number 7, you've got to write true or false for each of the sentences. So there's 4 sentences here. You need to say whether they are true or false. And number 8, why do you think this version of the story is different to the one we read earlier in the year? So why do you think this is different? Remember what I said about traditional tales? That's a bit of a clue. And your bonus challenge today is to draw an illustration of Hanuman being eaten by the sea monster. Now, we don't know a lot about what the sea monster looks like. What clues do we get? Sharp fangs and hair that writhe like snakes. That's all we know. So the rest of it is up to your imagination. So you can draw a picture of that if you fancy the bonus challenge. Right. That's it for now. As always, send your work to eSchools when it's finished, and I will see you later. Bye.